design your own life and let your neighbor, the stranger across the street, design their lives the way they want to. We've created a society where that can happen. Just expectations that society puts on us, expectations that we put on ourselves based on what we see reflected back to us. So I think fear of not fitting into some sort of mold or box or unit that whatever we culturally have been passed down, you know. Being able to be seen as individuals, each person has their own story and their own identity, and so being able to be your own person independent of a community, but at the same time embracing the community, if that makes sense. If we can create a community or create spaces where nobody feels judged and everybody feels like they can be themselves without a mold, then I think people will naturally just end up being themselves, you know. I think that's everything, no? Because that's confidence, and that's love, and that's just, you know, pride in yourself and who you are. And that, I think, just also like judgment goes away. Like if you are able to embrace yourself, I think a lot of your insecurities and, you know, if you have confidence issues or, you know, issues loving people, you know, loving your community, I think that once you embrace yourself, all that gets easier. Our judgments and our expectations, and look into ourselves, because we all, as open as we are, I think we all carry judgments and preconceived notions of people. So I think as much as we can, try to understand that the person across from you is just another person like you, with dreams and hopes and people they love. I think just getting to know a person, and if you get to know a person and you see something unjust happen to them, it'll make you want to make it right because you know them. So I think just approaching strangers with kindness and compassion and love. Take away every label. Like if you just take all that away and have a conversation with someone, you just see their person, and maybe the label isn't as important as you first allowed it to be, you know, in your head. Well, I think we're attached to it because it works for some people, you know, and that's great, you know, that can be amazing, and there's a lot of happy people who that works for. But I think we created the mold because it was a certain time and certain circumstances that led to society forming itself that way. But I think going forward, times have changed, we've evolved so that people can choose the way they want to live their lives freely. And if that's traditional or not traditional, that's great, but just taking away the judgment of somebody not living their lives the way a certain group of people want them to. Well, I think a lot of the problem, people relate it a lot to sex, and it doesn't have to be sexualized. I mean, there are, you know, like I think a lot of the judgment that comes from people who haven't had the education or haven't been exposed to or live in small communities, they think LGBT and they think sex immediately, and just like for them, sex is a part of their lives, but it isn't everything. That's the same for everyone else. You can have your job or your friendships, your family, and it's all separate from sex, you know, just, I don't know.